The first one is defensiveness. And defensiveness comes out when you feel attacked. So in a relationship, I want for you to think of that in like a conflict situation. When your partner comes at you and starts saying, I'm upset about this frustrated me today, this is what's going on, and you start to take a defensive stance and you're like warding off a perceived attack, but instead of actually taking responsibility and saying, you know what, I was 3 hours late today getting home from work, and I can understand why you'd be frustrated with that. I will contact you when I know I'm going to be running late and let you know when I'm 10 minutes out. Would that be more helpful? So defensiveness happens when you're warding off an attack rather than taking responsibility for what that might be. So there's antidotes to this, because the whole idea is that, yes, these 4 behaviors show up, but they don't have to. And there's a way to recognize if you fall into a rut of using one of these, you can use what's called the antidote. So the antidote to defensiveness is taking responsibility, because usually when somebody's pointing a finger at you, usually there's something accurate about what they're pointing their finger at you about. Okay, so, but her saying you are so inconsiderate and you're always late, that's criticism. That's also one of the 4 horsemen. So she is not faultless in this situation. So criticism is taking something and you start to internalize it to your partner. So the fact that your partner might have been late because there was traffic, they got held up at a meeting, they were out and they were on a roll, whatever it might be. Yeah, that's a frustration of yours that they were late, but now you're calling them inconsiderate. Now you're name calling. Now you're attacking their character. That's criticism, and that's not healthy in relationships. So instead of criticizing your partner, you want to address the concern, but you don't want to internalize it to their partner. So you might say something like, you know, I get frustrated when I don't know when you're going to be home. And I wish that you could call ahead and give me some idea of what your end time is going to be like. That's totally okay. You can complain in relationships, but you can't blame in relationships. And that's a big piece of the puzzle when you're trying to break down criticism. Okay. And then we have stonewalling. And this one is all about the guys, because we have, out of heterosexual relationships, 8 out of 10, about 80% of men are going to be the stonewallers in the relationship. And stonewalling, you can kind of imagine what it looks like. If you were to be in a conversation with me and I'm looking you dead in the eye and I'm talking to you, I also might be criticizing you. You're going to have your arms folded. You're going to have your head down. You're not going to be making eye contact. You're going to zip it because you're not talking to me. So you're physically present in the conversation, but you are putting off every indication that you are not interested, that you're not hearing me. And in your mind, you're probably thinking, I can't say anything, because if I say anything, it's just going to make it worse. So I'm just going to sit here and take it until it blows over. That's a stone wall, and that's not helpful. So the last one's contempt. I saved the last one because it is a doozy. Contempt is like sulfuric acid on the relationship. It's the hardest one. It tends to creep in later relationships. So you've been together long enough where there could be some contempt. But contempt comes across as name calling, unfortunately sarcasm, because I am the queen of sarcasm. It comes across in an overall sense that I am superior to you. I am smarter than you, I am cleaner than you, I'm more intelligent, I am better looking, I make more money. It's this feeling of superiority over your partner. And it's very subtle for some people of, you know, you don't worry about it, you can't handle it, I'll take care of it. It's this feeling that you're better than your partner, and it can be incredibly difficult and toxic on relationships.